Andrew Wiggins is an NBA All-Star. Now, I anticipated those words come out of my mouth when he first got drafted from Kansas back in 2014. But in 2022, when Andrew Wiggins has had a decent career, definitely didn't live up to the hype that he had, but he's still been a fairly good NBA player. He's in his 8th year. I definitely did not anticipate for him to be an all-star in his 8th year playing with Golden State, and let alone an all-star starter. Kind of was just like, am I missing something? I try to say I'm a guy that keeps up with basketball. I have this YouTube account. My social medias. I talk about hoops a lot. I'm follow a lot of hooping pages. I watch a good amount of games. Keep up with the games. Watch highlights. And I knew Andrew Williams was having a good year, but I didn't see all-star starter year. You kind of have to position, how do we even get to a spot that Andrew Wiggins is an all-star starter in the NBA? Well, let's look at it. For one, the West is banged up. Anthony Davis would usually be having the starting role, who's been hurt all season long, so he probably will not make the All-Star team. Paul George, who was having an All-Star caliber year, is also hurt, and we don't know if we're going to get him back, and he probably also will not be playing in an All-Star game at all. So the front court was open. When I was making my All-Star starter votes, the front court was always open. I didn't know who to throw in there. I was like, who do I give this other front court position to? So I kind of opened the door for a new guy to get this spot. Now, I've been saying for the last couple of years that it's a crime that we still have positions in the All-Star game. I mean, a lot of these teams, they run positionless. They have a positionless team, They have players running. They have 7-footers running the point guard position. They have 6'5" guys running the center position. They have Stanley Johnson running the center position, The fact that we're still doing positions in the NBA All-Star game, and especially in the voting, is kind of ludicrous if you think about it. I mean, look at Devin Booker. Devin Booker is the best player on the best team in the NBA currently, and he's not an All-Star starter. Granted, I don't think he deserves it over John Morant or Steph Curry, but he definitely should be over Andrew Wiggins. They definitely should run a 3-guard system. Why are we still doing the voting as you have to vote front court, you have to vote back court? No, it should be who are the best 5 players in the West. They should get the All-Star starting. Who are the best 5 players in the East? They should get the All-Star starting. Period. I don't care about position, none of that. And no, I'm not saying put 5 centers out there. Of course you have to throw some guards. I get that, understand that. But the fact that we're doing backcourt, frontcourt still, like, come on. What are we doing here? I know we got rid of the center position, but we're still doing backcourt, frontcourt. And number 2, the other reason why we're here is fan votes. Fan votes have 50% of the All-Star starters. 50%. Andrew Wiggins has a big fan base. I just found out this week that he had a big K-pop fan base. Did not know the K-pop people were riding for him hard, and we all know how K-pop people get down. So he has a big fan base to start off. He had a good year, and you all know how Golden State fans are. Golden State, they love their players. They really ride hard for them, as rightfully so. And it kind of made for this opportunity to mesh for him to get this. A lot of people are calling for abolish the fan vote, get rid of the fan vote. I personally, I like the fan vote. I like that fans have a chance to say, yeah, I think this guy's been playing really well. He deserves to be an All-Star starter. But 50% is way too high. It needs to be at like 10 or 20. Fan votes at this point, it's not even who's the best players. It's who has the biggest fan base. Look at some of these guys who are playing in lower market. I point to Anthony Edwards, who plays on a lower market team. His votes were nowhere near where Andrew Wiggins were. Like, if you play at a low market team, your chances of getting in the All-Star game goes down. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that, oh, I'm on Los Angeles Lakers, Carmelo Anthony, now I'm in the top 5 for voting. That's just not fair to players that play in the low markets that has been busting their ass all season to get to the All-Star game. It needs to be down to 10 to 20% bare minimum. I don't think we abolish it. I think I like the system. I like that fans get a chance to vote and say their words, and we get to see, oh, okay, the fans really want him to be in. Player vote and the coach vote needs to have much more weight than it does have right now on making the All-Star starter. I mean, the coaches and players decide who the reserves are. Why are the fans getting 50% on who the starters are? And usually the starters aren't that bad. It's just that this year, that the fact that Andrew Wiggins is a starter is crazy. Now, I'm not want to discredit Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is having a great year. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his family and everything that comes with it. But let's just be honest here. He didn't deserve this. He did not deserve to be an All-Star starter. All-Star, that's an argument. I didn't have him in my All-Star game, but you want to throw him in there, I wouldn't be that mad if he slipped in an All-Star. Maybe it's a sub for Paul George is already hurt, but a sub player for somebody else. I wouldn't be upset about that. But the fact that we gave him an All-Star starting spot over someone like Devin Booker, who has been killing it all year, whose team has lost 9 games this season, it's just crazy to me. Devin Booker's been disrespected for the last 4 to 5 years. He's only been an all-star because of substitutions. I mean, this was the year where, like, okay, he's finally gonna get his start. He's finally gonna be able to get into the all-star game. He will be an all-star. There's no way he's not. And if he's not an all-star, we need to get rid of the all-star game, because that's so crazy. It's the guy that's in the MVP conversation right now because of how great his team has been playing, how great he's been playing. He had 40 the other night. If I was a Phoenix fan, I'd be livid right now. There's no way that we're getting Andrew Wiggins over Devin Booker. And I understand the front court, back court thing. Yeah, yada yada, but that's crazy. Looking at the other players on the West, LeBron James once again gets his captain role, well deserved. Steph Curry, Nikola Jokic, John Morant round out the West Coast. No one on that list. It's a surprise to me. I think they all deserved it. I'm very happy that John Morant got his all-star starting job. I was a little worried that they weren't gonna give it to him, but he has well deserved it. Been the best guard in the West this whole year, and I'm happy that he gets it. Some guys I really want to see get it in the West reserved wise is DeJounte Murray. I really hope that DeJounte Murray is able to get his reserve role, because he's been killing it over there in San Antonio. So I hope he gets it. I hope Devin Booker and Chris Paul both get in. They should get in with no issues. Those are the main people that I'm kind of riding for. I want to see get into the All-Star game. But other than that, the West starters and other than Andrew Wiggins is kind of makes sense. East, not a lot of turmoil over there. Everyone's kind of happy with the starters. We have Kevin Durant being the captain, of course, with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, and Joel Embiid. Everyone on that list well deserved. Some people think that Zach LaVine should have got over Trae Young. I personally think that Trae Young deserves it over Zach, but if you put Zach there, I wouldn't be upset either. They both have having great years. Some guys in the East, there's a lot of guys in the East I actually really want to see get it. I want to see Darius Garland get it. I really hope he gets into the All-Star game this year. I really hope that LaMelo Ball is able to get into the All-Star game this year. I'm hoping that Fred VanVleet is able to get into the All-Star game this year. Those are 3 guards right there, and Zach LaVine's already a guaranteed spot. That's 4 guards, so it's going to be one of those guys are going to get snubbed. It's going to be unfortunate. I know Jimmy Butler's coming in to sub for Kevin Durant, so there is a guard spot open now in the East reserves, that I hope one of those guys are able to snag and get it. I also hope that Miles Bridges, he had a great first half of the season. He's still slowed down a little bit, but he's still having a great season. I would like to see him get one of the final spots too. There's a lot of great guys in the East that really deserve it. I mean, the East has been a very, very hard conference this year. I said at the beginning of the season, the East is better than the West. You have a lot of young teams that came out of nowhere. I didn't expect the Cavs to look as good as the Cavs look. And get into that. The way the Cavs look right now, that win they had with Milwaukee the other night was that shook me, because Milwaukee's a team I know that when they play against a big team, they get up. It's been proven all year, and they play against a team that is high in the standings, that has a big name player, and it's a big game on national television. They usually get up and play, and I thought they were going to do that against Cleveland, because Cleveland's a hot new team that everyone's been talking about. I'm like, they're going to shut this down. And I mean, Cleveland walked over them. Darius Garland and Evan Mobley looks like Cleveland got a gym. They drafted 2 All-NBA players, it looks like. I mean, Darius Garland has been otherworldly, and Evan Mobley's rookie of the year, and we haven't even seen Sexton yet. Sexton's still hurt, Now then you bring in another 20-point scorer right next to them on the guard position. This big lineup that they got, a lot of people were like, they got all these bigs. Has worked out great. Lauren Markkinen's been great for them. Jarrett Allen's been playing at an all-star level. He might even get into the all-star game. You got Kevin Love, who's had a new role off the bench, has been flourishing. Ricky Rubio, who is hurt now, who was playing great, but now you brought in Rajon Rondo, who's able to play that backup role for Darius Garland. It's a great system over there, and they're really playing great basketball, and I'm happy for them. And it's just what I said, this East is very, very hard, especially with teams like Cleveland coming out of nowhere basically and kind of surprising everybody. Everyone knew they were going to be decent, but no one saw what this team is right now. I'm going from good team in the East. We got to talk about the really, really bad right now, and that's the Sacramento Kings. Kings fans, I feel for you. You guys lost by 50-something points against the Boston Celtics and came back and lost by 30 the next night. And it just seems like this is one of the seasons. It's like, okay, the Kings gotta make moves. Fire Luke Walton. They've had top picks for the last couple of years, but it's in like late lottery. They gotta get rid of these players. These guys gotta go. I think if you're the Kings GM, you blow up ship. You either trade away De'Aaron Fox and go on a full rebuild, or you go on a rebuild around De'Aaron Fox. But everyone's gotta go. They got to move. Buddy Hield's got to go. Tyrese Halliburton, Davion Mitchell, Marvin Bagley III, like all of them, they just got to go. You just got to blow that team up. You look horrendously bad. Like, we all know the Pistons are bad, but the Pistons are in a rebuild. You guys are in a rebuild, but you guys have been in the same weird rebuild for the last 4 to 5 years. What are you guys doing? Where's the progression? You have De'Aaron Fox, who's a star player, an all-star caliber guy. We all understand that. You have Tyrese Halliburton, which was a really good draft pick last year. He's been good. But other than that, you got Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes has been good. He's been a star. You got Rena Bogdanovic. Buddy Hield really hasn't been performing for this season. It's a team that's got to blow it up. I think they need to take a note out of Indiana's book. Indiana's like, look, this isn't working. working. We've been trying Sabonis. We've been trying Malcolm Brogdon. We brought in Caris LeVert. This isn't working. We're just going to blow this team up. We have Miles Turner, blow it up. I think the Kings need to do that too. They need to look at, okay, this isn't going to work. You guys are 18 and 30 something. I mean, you're getting blown out every night. Granted, you're still beating the Lakers, but we all know how the Lakers are right now. The team is bad. And overall, it's just not a good team. Everyone's got to go. If I'm a Kings fan, I want everyone gone off my team ASAP. But maybe, you never know. Maybe De'Aaron Fox will get an all-star selection this year. The front court of the West is a little competitive, but like I said, it's not as competitive as the East. Maybe he'll get a selection.